There we go. All right. So let's start with our feet about hips width. And we'll just stand tall. We're just going to roll down, first tucking the chin, letting the head be heavy. And as you let your shoulders come forward, draw up through your belly button. It almost feels like you have this conveyor belt, like you're right at the edge of the conveyor belt with your spine. You can have your knees straight or bent, whichever is more comfy, and just let yourself go as low as you want. Draw the belly in again so that you can start to rise up. And try to keep your arms and head heavy as you're rising up, so that you're really just finding your core strength and stretching through the back. I'll just do this maybe 3 times. Whatever pace you want would be fine. I'm going to do it 3 times. You might end up doing it more or less. When you get to the bottom, you may want to straighten and bend your knees a few times, or maybe one leg at a time so you get a little shifty. It just kind of loosens up the back maybe. But the key element is drawing your belly in while you're rolling. And it seems simple enough, and it is, but that simplicity doesn't mean that it's necessarily physically easy. Whenever you're done with your 3, we will be standing so that we can slide our hands to our thighs, bent knees, and just a few cat-cows from here. Pull your chest through, arch, and round your back, tailbone drops. Whatever pace suits you. So you'll notice a difference through your shoulder blades for point A, point B, and through the pelvis/glutes. See if you can do this with a little less arm pulling and pushing. See if you can use more core. If you were to be doing back shape changes in Pincha mayurasana, that would be all arms or a lot of arms. But just see for now if you can make your abs sort of turn on. Okay, and we'll find a neutral place and we'll just stand up. We've done some Uddiyana Kriya before. I'm just going to do it standing, but you can always lean forward to make it easier. We'll inhale, exhale completely, and contract. So all your organs draw up. When you can't hold your breath anymore, then let it go. And start the process again. So it's an inhale, a full exhale, and when you're empty, contract it. You can feel this ridge of your ribs. You just hold it for as long as you want. You might want to flutter it a few times. Let's just take one more. Okay, and we'll meet standing. Let's bring our feet together. We'll reach up for an inhale. And take your time. We'll just go to a downward dog. You can vinyasa or not. And once we get to that downward dog, we're going to play with that Uddiyana Kriya again. Because naturally, in down dog and forward bend in general, your belly is going to lift up. So you can notice before you even exaggerate it with the Kriya, you can notice that your belly's drawing in. You can even take one hand up and you'll feel again that lowest rib kind of as the shell with the belly drawing in. And if you wanted to exaggerate it, would be the same breath pattern, a strong exhale, and then the contraction. And you don't stay to the point of getting dizzy or turning red or popping a blood vessel. It can be fluttered here as well. And let's let the breath be normal. The belly be normal, drawing in just on its own without the exaggeration. And let's start walking feet forward toward the hands. When you get close, inhale, arching through the back a bit. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Bend into the knees. Inhale, Utpluthih. And let's fold forward for the exhale, straighten the legs again. Inhale, halfway up. And let's come to plank. Yesterday we did a lot of planks with sort of fancy leg scenarios. We'll do a little bit of that today. Now let's do it from the forearms. So we'll place our knees, place our forearms down, and then potentially lift the knees up again. Let's bring our right knee toward our right elbow, and then extend it back. Left knee toward the left elbow, and extend it back. Lisa, walk your feet back a little more so your butt can go lower. Yeah. Just go alternating legs, and we'll try not to be too wiggly through the arms or hips. Stability is key. Let's take one more each side. Hello, abs. Good morning. And we'll meet in down dog B. Just walk your feet in until your butt can lift up. Press the chest back. And again, notice the hollowing of the belly. On days that you have stiffness in the back, it would help to exaggerate that with the Kriya. Otherwise, you can just enjoy the naturality of it. Okay, let's straighten the arms. Walk the feet or jump the feet forward toward the hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Utpluthih. Bend the knees. Inhale. And let's squat and bring our chest toward our thighs. And you can even bring your chest toward your thighs if your butt is not very low. If your knees hurt and your butt's up here, it still works to bring your chest down. Okay, straighten the legs as you fold. Exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And just send the left leg back for the exhale. Let's sweep the arms up. So we have roughly a straight line from the back foot to the fingertips. Draw the belly in so it's not just resting on your thigh. It's real tempting to kind of hang out there. Take one more breath. Put fingertips down. Next, inhale, straighten the front leg as much as you can at the moment. And exhale to bend. One more time, just straightening and bending. And later, obviously, it would straighten more, so don't stress if it's stuck. And we'll bring the back foot forward for an inhale. The right foot back for the exhale. There's our lunge. Draw the belly in and reach up when you can. Or do something else with the arms is fine as well. I just don't want us to be arching too much in the back. Think of drawing the belly in so that there's like a space here to actually like have a little mouse resting on your leg between your leg and your left ribs. Good, and fingertips down. We'll straighten the left leg for an inhale. Then for an exhale. One more time, inhale straight. And exhale, bend. Okay, step to plank. Again, we'll come to the forearms. I'm going to face this way because otherwise I'll end up kicking the wall when we do this little thing. So forearm plank, we'll swing the right leg out to the side and tap back. And then left leg out and back. And you just swing it out as far as you can. We did this yesterday on the straight arm plank. It's not necessarily easier or harder either way. It's sort of torturous from both. Let's finish up whatever cycle you're on and walk the feet in so it's down dog B. And drop the head so you just relax in the neck. 2 more breaths. We'll straighten the arms for a normal downward dog. Step, walk, or jump forward. Inhale when you get there. There's that arch, you pull through, exhale to fold. Utpluthih, knees bend, arms up, and find your squat, chest on thighs. Good, let's keep our chest on the thighs, just give yourself a hug, and let's have a seat so that our butt is close to our heels. Ooh. And our arms are gonna help us keep our chest on our thighs. We're just in this little ball. Okay, let's try to keep ourselves there without the arms. So squeeze your knees together and reach forward. And it's like a coiled spring that very much wants to pop, like a little jack in the box. So lean forward one more inch, draw the belly in. This is essentially our Bakasana shape, which is essentially our Urdhva Kukkutasana shape. Take one more breath. And somehow we'll come forward onto the feet again with the butt up. If you open your knees, you can lean forward more and then it's easier to get your butt. We'll straighten the legs, fold as the exhale. Inhale halfway up, and let's send the left leg back for the exhale. We'll lower the back heel, and we'll turn it into Uddiyana Bandha Kriya. And again, we're getting that straight line from back foot to the top hand, just like when you were in the lunge facing down. And again, find some space here for this underside. So we're going to reach our right armpit, the underside armpit, forward. Roll the right shoulder back so that you don't feel any stuckness or crunch there with the right side of the body and the thigh. Ooh, okay, let's reach that left arm up. And on the inhale, we'll straighten the right leg. Exhale to bend again. Just one more like that. Inhale, straighten as far as it goes. And exhale, bend. I'll just lower left fingers down. Back foot forward for the inhale. And right foot back for the exhale. The legs turn to a warrior two stance. And this is Uddiyana Bandha Kriya. Right arm out over the ear. We're reaching firmly with the arm and the fingers, pushing down firmly with that back foot. And we get real excited about this top line, but just as important is the bottom line. You can push the knee into the arm if you have your hand on the floor. Carrie, you might want to move your hand to the other side of your foot. And then you can lean back a little more. Good. Okay, let's reach the right arm up. Inhale to straighten the left leg. Exhale to bend. You can always move your hand onto your shin if you really want to get the leg straight and it won't go. And after that second one, we'll just lower the hand and step back to plank. Let's come to the knees again. We'll just do one more thing. Don't worry. Let's find our forearm plank. Okay, we'll step the feet together. Let's bring the thumbs together. So our arms are no longer parallel. There's more like a V shape. We'll keep our right hand there. Come on to the right forearm. Lift the left arm up. And just let your hips drop down an inch and lift up an inch. Down an inch, up an inch. And just go at your pace and in your range. I'm not even sure if I'm moving enough to have it be visible on the camera, but I'm thinking about pushing up. The down obviously happens with gravity. Okay, let's come through our center place, thumbs touch, feet touch, and head over to the other side. Go down and up in a small range, emphasizing the up, because that is the work. It's almost like allowing a fall and then saving it. Okay, so we'll meet at a forearm plank. And let's turn the forearms parallel again. Walk the feet in, down dog V. Press through the thumbs. And if you're ever in a spot where down dog V is hurting your shoulders, just turn it into dolphin and interlace the fingers. It's a much easier shoulder rotation that way. Okay, regular down dog, we'll straighten the arms. And let's walk or jump the feet to the hands. Inhale there. Fold, exhale. Utpluthih, bend into the knees, inhale. Find your squat. Let's try to keep the heels on the floor while we squat. Good, that means you have to lean forward more, and the stretch of the Achilles is greater. Think of your Bakasana prep. Okay, let's come down to our butts. This time we'll hug underneath the thighs so that our thighs are still very close to our chest, but our legs are free. And let's just practice straightening one leg and then change it, straighten the other. And it's maybe your leg is not getting all the way straight, that's fine. Just notice how hard it is to keep your thighs on your chest. Draw the belly in so that if a mouse was there at your belly button, you would not be suffocating him. Okay, let's meet with our toes aligned with the knees. Slip your hands to your thighs. So instead of the elbows there, it's your palms. Try to stay where you are. It's not going to really work 100%. And just release the arms out. Now there is a gap here. We are not going to be smushed our chest on our thighs, but we're thinking of it. We're bringing the knees in and we're trying to lean our chest forward and just find that fine balance point that is hard and fun at the same time. Okay, let's bring our feet down. Open the knees so that you can lean forward and get your butt off the ground. Good. Straighten the legs. Exhale. Come halfway up. Inhale. And send the left leg back. Exhale. Urdhva Kukkutasana again. Left arm straight out alongside the ear. We're going to come in and out of this pose with the emphasis of our minds on our right heel and our right hip. We're going to dig that right heel into the floor. Let's rise to warrior 2 for an inhale and return to Urdhva Konasana for the exhale. And we'll just do this a total of 3 times. Inhaling up, so hard. Exhaling over. So it's all that scooping of the hip. We'll meet in that Urdhva Konasana. We'll keep scooping the hip. You find your triangle pose by straightening the right leg. Your left arm could be up. It could stay over the ear. I'm going to go for a half bind, left arm behind the back, so I can grab my right thigh. And in this, we'll think about the ball of the right foot pushing down, because that's sometimes our missing link. Good. Let's unravel ourselves, lower the fingers, back foot forward for an inhale, and right foot back for an exhale. Urdhva Konasana, right heel down, right arm out. And think about that left heel digs into the floor. It makes your left shin bone be like a pillar. Yeah, there you go, Carrie. I was going to say that, and then you fix it. Okay, 3 times. We inhale ourselves up, dig that heel into the floor, exhale, return. So we're going to try this twice more. We're not going to let that front leg straighten as we rise up. It's going to stay exactly where it was. Very tempting to straighten it, I know. Good. So after that last one, we'll just straighten the left leg and make your way to triangle, whatever you did on side 1. Good. Press the ball of your left foot down. Scoop your left hip under, lean back, waist back. Okay, and let's slowly unravel. We'll lower the hands and step back to plank. Let's find our downward dog for an exhale and just return to plank for your inhale. Just a few times like this. Getting your shoulders on board with this concept. And the next time you're in down dog, we'll stay there. We'll lift the right leg up high, and we'll step it forward to the hands for warrior one. Heel to heel alignment. Let's hold opposite elbows and pull these elbows back. Good. Let's lift the chin just slightly so that your ears are between your upper arms. Because sometimes we end up with our elbows really far back, but we're still kind of jutting our chin forward. So let it all travel together. Okay. We'll change the arm position. Let's interlace fingers behind the back, chest up, and fold forward, either shoulder to thigh or shoulder inside of knee. And I always open my palms here because if I don't, there's like no mobility at all. So you decide about the palms, and let's drop the head and stare at your belly. Lift it up. Just like it naturally drew in for down dog, it will naturally draw in here, so long as you're not tense, so long as you're not working too hard. And maybe you even want to exaggerate it a bit. Okay, let's release our grip. Step the back foot forward for an inhale. And we'll just step the right foot back for warrior one. Holding opposite elbows. Good. So chin up just a bit. Hopefully there's no neck pain. If there is, if the process of letting your head goes back is painful to you, instead of holding opposite elbows, hold like your shoulders, and your forearms will then create a little pillow for you. And you can push your head into the pillow, which will A, relieve your neck of pain, and B, strengthen your neck. Okay, let's switch out our arm position. We'll hold the interlaced grip behind, inhale, and hold, exhale. Good, back leg super straight. Some of you, your head might touch the floor near the left arch. All a function of the hip. Okay, let's get out of there and let's step back, either vinyasa or downward dog. We'll meet in down dog. Good. Let's bring the right foot forward to the hands. Just a simple twist. Our left hand will stay down, lining up fingers and toes, right arm up. Let's stay here for a moment and practice leaning back with our right shoulder and ribs. Drop that right hip closer to the floor. So it should feel like, almost like a pigeon stretch on the right side. Okay, let's unravel slightly. We're gonna keep this hand and foot. You might even have to move the hand out to the side more. We're gonna bring the back leg through and have a seat. I'm just gonna back up because I almost kicked my computer. Good, so remember earlier when we were trying to sit with our chest on our thigh. Let's do that here. It will be easier because we're only dealing with one leg. And try to get your right sitting going down. Because sometimes when we do this, we lean over. Only dig your right foot into the floor and just reach forward. Feel free to stay here, or we're going to practice pushing this right foot into the floor because that's something we need in Marchasana. We're going to lift the left leg and lower it down again. And just a few times like that. And we're trying to keep our body kind of where it is. So even when the left leg is lifting, we're not necessarily leaning back at all. So hello, left quads. Oh my gosh. Sorry about this. This is awful. Let's just take one more. Okay, then the way out, we're going to lean forward enough to get our butt off the ground. And we'll just slide that left foot back. So we wind up in a lunge again with the right leg in front. Let's go for prayer twist. Hook your left elbow outside your right thigh. Good, and stack your forearms. Your choice, back heel up or down. Your choice, either stay in prayer or lower your left hand down and lift your right arm up. Or maybe extend your right arm over the ear so that you have a straight line from your back foot to your top hand. One more breath. And let's unravel and step back either vinyasa or downward dog. Hopefully down dog is restful for you at this point, because it's sort of the only rest you get. Let's bring our left foot forward for our simple twist. Right palm flat, left arm up. And it's real tempting to sort of swing this hip out to the left. But we're going to try to think of angling it back and down so that you find a stretch in the left hip. And the more flexible you are, the harder you're going to have to work to create that stretch. Okay, and we'll unravel. I'm going to back up so I don't kick my camera. We're just going to bring our back foot through. So we have to curl into a little ball in order to clear the ground with that right foot. So the setup will be our left foot about 5 inches from this thigh. Our heel is close to the sitting bone as you can get it. And if our arms are on our leg, it's real easy to sit up. But as soon as we reach forward, it becomes harder. So try it. You could always go light fingertips. And then when you're ready, you just practice lifting and lowering that right leg. So we're digging that left heel into the floor. And in our Marjasanas, we need to do that. In our Ardha Matsyendrasana, we need to do that. Oh, my right quads are about to fall off the body. Okay, so we meet again in our lunge. So we lift our butt, slide that right leg back and step back. And make your way to a prayer twist. And make your adjustments that you did on the other side. And that left knee pushes into the right arm, gives you a little bit of tension, and then you can twist a little more. Okay, so we'll slowly get out of there, and let's vinyasa or go for your downward dog. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit. Let's walk the hands back to the feet and squat. So your feet are hips width-ish. Let's turn the heels just slightly in, the toes out. We'll bring our right shoulder inside of our right knee and open up the arms. If when you're doing this, you can't get your heels on the floor, just wedge a few books or a towel underneath your heels. Let's attempt to bind. So we're going to flip this right shoulder forward. The palm will face up, and then we can wrap the arm around the leg. And your hands are going to be holding near your hip. They're not down by your butt. They're higher up off the ground than that. So if you feel like your right hand is kind of stuck by your ankle or by your butt, it just might be that your shoulder's not quite flexible enough yet. It also might just be that you have to bend your right elbow more. Okay, let's unravel and we'll just try the other side. Left shoulder inside, left arm out. And take your bind if you can. You can also do a half bind if it's too much for full. And even as you're in your bind, the right foot is still heavy on the ground. We're not leaning everything over to the left. Okay, let's unravel. we're going to just meet in a Bakasana, or we're going to come in and out of a Bakasana. So here we are on the ground. Let's bring our knees into our armpits or thereabouts. We'll lift our butt and we'll just rock forward by using the toes to sort of push us forward. And then we'll rock back again. The toes will absorb us and we can come onto the heels and give the wrists a little break. And we'll just do that a few times. I want you to articulate through your feet so that the end point is your toes pointed and touching. Or your toes pointed and the entire inside edge of your foot touching the other foot. Let's take one more. Good. And then we'll do the same idea, but we'll do it from Baby Bakasana, which is a very misleading name because it's harder. We're going to come onto the forearms, bring our knees toward our armpits, and rock forward and get the toes up off the ground. So the head is off the floor. Good. Round the back, heels up. Good. And let's meet in down dog beat. Or dolphin if you want your hands to be interlaced. Okay, let's straighten the arms. Step our right foot forward to the hands. Lower the back heel like warrior two stand. And let's place our elbow on the thigh. Right elbow, right thigh. So we're just twisting open. We're going to turn this into a bind in just a second. But here, when we're risen this far off the ground, it's pretty easy, or relatively easy, to get the left ribs back. If our hand is down, it's real hard to get the ribs back. So let's move the ribs back first, then start to slip your right shoulder down. And then you can start to approach your bind. So it was like a slow descent, that shoulder inside of the knee. Similar to what you did when you were in your squat. Good. Let's straighten the right leg as much as you can for an inhale, keeping the bind. It's hard. And bend it again for the exhale. And just do that a few more times. Your ribs are going to pretty much stay with your right thigh. So your body will end up kind of tilted along with your leg. Good. Let's unravel and we'll just try the other side. You can step back to dog or forward, however you want to change. You can jump change, and we'll find our setup for Partial Konasana with the hips facing the long edge of the mat. Good. So move the right ribs back. You can literally take your right hand and manually move yourself. And keep that opening as you slide your shoulder down. As best you can, keep it even when you're in your full bind. And just like when we bound from the squat, your hands are by your hip or by your thigh, they're not by your butt. Carrie, you can get your shoulder a little closer to the floor. Yeah, now you can bend your left elbow more, and your left hand can now hold your right wrist. Okay, we'll straighten and bend the left leg 3 times. Inhale for straightening and exhale for bending. Depending on your shoulders, you might even have to loosen your bind in order to do this. Shoulders are so sensitive, so if you feel any twinges of pain, change your grip. And after that third one, we'll unwind ourselves and either vinyasa or down dog. Let's bring our right foot about 3/4 of the way forward. We'll set up for twisted triangle, heel to heel alignment. And let's come up pretty high. I think we did this yesterday. Left hand to shin. Even though you can go to the floor, just for now, go for the shin. Then bring your right hands to your ribs and open yourself more. Just like you did as your prep for this, the bind we just did. So find the twist first. Let's slide the right hand over to the left hip, around the back, grab hold of that hip bone, and as you're twisting, pull that hip bone up toward the ceiling. Now, keeping that amount of twist, slide the left hand down as far as you can to the floor or the block, either side of the foot. And keep pulling that left hip up toward the ceiling. Good. And let's slowly unravel. We're going to come through like we did before to sitting. So we'll place our left hand out maybe a foot away from the right foot, and we'll step our left foot through, and we wind up on our butts. Good. Let's open up that right knee for Janushirasana A with a wrist grip. So we're going to hold either right hand to left wrist or left hand to right wrist. It will feel different. So if you always do it the same way, do it the other way. For most of my yoga life, I would have my right hand on my left wrist. And it feels pretty good. And then one day, I thought that when the teacher said grip the other way, I thought she just misspoke. But I tried it anyway, and it was amazing. So now I do it that way because I feel like now the right side body gets more length. But there's not necessarily a right way. Okay, we're going to rise up, and we'll just extend both legs out. They don't have to be completely straight, just something symmetrical with them. We'll reach forward. And just like when you were rolling forward and back earlier, we're going to find that conveyor belt action. So find a tucking of the tailbone, your mid-back moving back, and we'll start to slide down some amount until you feel like you're about to kind of lose control of it, at which point you would just kind of pause. You might come all the way to the ground, you might not, and then we have to come up again. So we tuck our chin, and we try to use our core strength instead of momentum. There might be a little smidge of momentum in there. When you get to the top, take a full breath, shoulders over hips, and we'll just try it again. So it's really this tailbone tucking is like the first step. And you'll feel like your pubic bone is starting to rise up. You can think of yourself as a cinnamon bun, just kind of curled up or uncurling. And the slower you go, the harder it is. So maybe more beneficial. I need a rope to hold on to. Okay, we made it. Woohoo! All right, let's just cross our shins. Either jump back, vinyasa, or downward dog. You can step back. We'll do all of these shenanigans on the other side. And we step our left foot about 3/4 of the way forward. We set up for twisted triangle by lining up the heels, getting both legs straight. For today, right hand to the right shin, and you'll feel how much you have to squeeze your legs. Left hand to the ribs, twist. And the more you twist, the more precarious the balance gets. But that's part of the fun, working the feet, working the legs. Let's move the left hand over to the right hip and literally lift it up. That will change the sensation all the way down the left hamstring. And we'll start sliding that right hand down the leg until maybe it's on the ankle or the foot or the block or the floor. Carrie, you could get your left shoulder up a little more. Yes. And if you literally think of rolling it back, you'll eke out like another 2 inches. Some of the twist is coming from the ribs, some's coming from the shoulder, some is coming from the encouragement of your gaze. The gaze up helps everything else kind of line up. Okay, let's unravel ourselves. We'll bring our right hand to the big toe side of that left foot with enough space to get your right leg to come through. Good. And we open it up for Janushirasana A. 90 degrees between the thighs, twist, and fold. And we did a lot of work yesterday in terms of the abs twisting it for us. So if you don't do anything, you'll be on that diagonal. You have to draw in and make your body face that left leg or the right leg. Because it won't just face that straight leg on its own. start to rise up. And let's bring our legs out again. This time we're gonna have them off the ground in that little tabletop thing. And we'll go to low boat and we'll try to return to here again. So we'll extend our torso out, our legs out, and then we'll bring it in as if our knees are gonna touch the chest. And just to feel like that, you can always put your hands on the ground to help with the balance. It's not going to help with your abdominal work, so it's not cheating really. It's just assisting. You won't be able to avoid the thigh hip flexor and ab work, no matter where you put your hands. And let's just take one more. And then we'll vinyasa or we'll step back. If you're practicing your jump-thrus, that would always be good opportunities to practice jumping back. Okay, let's go right foot in front for Asana. Oh, that feels so nice. All right, we're going to turn this into a few different things. First, on the inhale, just straighten your right leg. There's your half split. And exhale to bend the knee again. There's your Asana. We'll just do this 2 more times. We press that heel down and press the floor away. And then we pull the floor toward us using the right hamstring. Okay. So we'll scoot that left knee in and have a seat. This is just to get our butt to the ground. Then we'll extend the right leg straight. Feel free to sit on a book here. Try not to lean to the right. The left butt cheek is as heavy on the floor as the right one. Inhale and reach out toward your right foot. Fold forward, exhale. This is Uddiyana Bandha Kriya. So the Paschimottanasana aspect is this right leg. It's flexed, it's strong, the kneecap and the foot are facing up to the ceiling. The Uddiyana Bandha Kriya is referencing this left leg that is folded back. And let's rise up. We'll bring our right knee in, heel down, and just stay for a moment. We did something very similar to this earlier, except your leg wasn't folded back, so maybe life was easier then. Okay, we're going to turn this into Bakasana. I feel like that was a request recently, but somehow it got shoved away. Notice your shape here. We're going to just pretty much keep that, but rotate. So think if we took a picture of you and then we press the edit feature on the phone, we rotate. So hands down, right knee toward the right armpit. And now just use your left toes to help you get your left knee off the ground. And just practice this process of getting your butt up and then dragging your left knee in toward the chest. And as you drag your left knee in, practice getting your left foot off the ground. It's all about curling into a little ball. So Carrie, you're getting to about here. That's good. Then we'll drag it in like this. We'll lean forward more and we'll try to get the foot up. Easy enough, right? Not really. Keep looking forward. Good. All right, let's return to our Asana, right leg in front, so it's the same side. We'll just step that left leg back. We'll start creeping that left knee back. Masi, masi, mas. Hasta tenemos un split. Hanumanasana. And you really could just keep walking that left knee back until your torso is upright and your pelvis is flush with the ground. But you could also stop way before that point. Let's take 2 more breaths. Okay, we'll start walking forward again with that left knee. And we'll meet in a downward dog. Option to try your Bakasana again. Once you have the balance, you could take it into chaturanga pretty easily because it's like that coiled spring concept where you would want a chaturanga, but getting into the balance is tough. So you place your right shin on your upper arm, lean forward, butt up is very important, and drag. So your left toenails literally drag along the floor. And frustration is part of the practice in this pose, for sure. Good. Okay, so we meet in a downward dog, and we get to do all of that on the other side. We'll bring the left foot forward, Asana. I'm just going to check that it still has puppies. I do, it still has puppies on the other side of the sheet. Okay, we straighten that left leg. And we rebend it. This is prepping your hamstring because what we're about to ask of it is quite a lot. So just 3 times. Okay. So on side 1, we moved our right knee forward to have a seat for Tirya Mukhapada. Another way you could do it is drop your butt back. It doesn't really matter. It's just choreography. So however you want to get there, just letting you know there's more than one way. And I notice on this side, I'm leaning pretty far to the side. So I'm going to keep my left hand there as a kickstand so that I can keep myself centered. And when you're ready, fold forward. The more we can push that left calf muscle into the floor, the less we're going to need the kickstand. We also want our right knee facing straight forward. Belly in. And remember how you had to sort of encourage the twist in Janushasana? Same thing here. You have to use your core to make your right rib move toward your left ankle. Okay, and we'll rise up. And we'll just bring our left heel in so that our chest and thigh are very close together. Just hug it in. Okay, so the placement for Bakasana. People with big, strong shoulders are able to put their knee right in their armpit and it'll work. But I have not found that that works great for me. So I kind of put my shin bone on my armpit. So it's a little more supportive. But either way is fine. You can experiment. Hands will come down about 12 inches in front of the setup, the knee and the foot. And then as you're rocking forward, butt up. Good. Keep pressing your shin into your arm. Get your butt higher. And that's what's going to get your second leg in your knee to your chest. Carrie, that was good. I saw your butt rise considerably. All right. Good. And sometimes the issue with this pose is folks get excited, but you really have to go slow and just drag your knee to your chest. So let's meet in Asana again. Left leg in front this time, same side. And we start to creep our right leg back. Hanumanasana. When you were in Anjane, you were very square. It was lovely. Try to maintain that even when you go to a deeper place. Start to creep into Anjane again and make a choice. Do you try your arm balance again or not? If you have wrist issues, the answer would be no, not right now until the issues sort themselves out. So from this lunge placement, it's the same kind of idea. You dip your chest down, you get your shin onto that arm, and as you're leaning forward, drag your right knee in. Once it's in and you can have a conscious thought with your right foot off the ground, then you can start extending the leg. Good. And we'll meet in a downward dog. The good news is we got the hardest arm balance of all time sort of worked out a little bit. Okay, right leg forward again, Asana, back knee down. This time in our Bakasana grip or whatever grip suits you to work on this left thigh a little bit more. Oh, that feels nice. My shoulder is starting to get better, or I can do this again. I just have to get into it a weird little way. Let's bend that front knee a little deeper. Good. And let's unravel that back leg. We're going to step our left foot again through and have a seat. The left hand is far enough away from your foot that you have space to sort of travel. Okay, Urdhva A. Let's get our right heel close to our hip. Find that 5 inches or so between foot and thigh. Let's reach our right hand to our left foot just for a moment. Left hand will just be out to the side like a kickstand. And let's start to pull ourselves forward. So our right elbow bends as much as you can based on your flexibility. Pause here for a moment and try to get your right ribs down a little more toward the floor, or you can aim it toward your left knee. Without moving your torso, now sweep your right arm out to the side and start your bind. As the arm goes out to the side, move your right knee in toward your body. So you are hugging the inner thigh in. And then take your full bind or your half bind. And let's try to level out the shoulders. So our left shoulder comes as far forward as the right. And make a choice. Do you want to stare at your foot and bring your chin in the direction of your leg? Or do you want to drop your head and bring your forehead in the direction of your leg? Different schools of thought about that. If you practice Upavistha I would say at least half the time do it with the gaze forward so that you keep your neck strong enough to eventually hold that leg. Okay, let's unwind. We'll extend that leg out. And let's roll down to our backs. Oh. Okay, once we get there, we're just going to have our feet on the floor, about hips width, and just find your neutral back. Not a big deal. Let's place our hands just on our belly so that we can see how stable we are. And let's let the right knee drop out to the right, maybe 6 or 8 inches, and then bring it in again. And drop the left knee out to the left, and try not to rock to the left. So the right side of your body has to work as you drop the left knee. So bring the left knee in, drop the right knee, and then now the left side of the body is working hard so that you don't fall over. Right knee in, left leg out, left knee in. Right leg out, right knee in, left leg out, and we'll bring it in and then rock ourselves up to sitting. There's 1,000 ways you can rock up. Anything suits you. And let's just find the lunge on the other side. So we'll come through the squat and we'll step our right foot back, Asana, with our Bakasana grip. So that we can do all of this on side 2. We'll grab hold of the foot, the inside of the foot, and just pull it in as close as you can toward you. Eventually, it will be close enough to swivel your hand. If it's not real close, the shoulder or the chest will not allow a swivel. Oh gosh, tight side. I'm trying to bend my front knee more, and it will not go. Take 2 more breaths. Okay, we let that go. We place our right palm and we'll step our right foot through and sit. And that's practice for eventual jump. Okay, Urdhva A. First, making sure your heel is close to your butt. And we'll reach our left hand to right foot. Right hand is just out there helping you not fall over. And let's try to fold deeply over that straight leg. Draw the belly in and use the core strength to help you aim yourself over that leg. And notice how your left knee is kind of flying out to the side. That's all of us, don't worry. When we start reaching our left arm around, we're gonna hug that knee in. Let's start the process. You could whip it around, you could crawl it like a little spider around. That left palm is gonna be facing up as you bend the elbow. So that the left palm is ready to receive your right hand or your right wrist. Good. And we'll try to fold forward a little bit more. We'll aim our armpits toward our right ankle. Rise up. We'll extend that left leg and lay back. I'm just going to face this way because again, I'll kick the wall behind me if I do this on my mat. So we'll have our legs bent again, hands on the belly. And like we did before, we'll be bringing the leg out to the side, but this time we'll try to get it straight. So we'll lift the right leg up. We'll extend it out any amount to the side without falling over. And bring it in again and lower the foot. And then try the other side. You don't have to go very far. Maybe 2 inches is enough for you to feel that the core is triggered. You can also repeat what we did before, where you're just using the knee. And that would be quite enough. You'll feel that Mula Bandha comes online to help you bring the leg in. Your inner thighs come online, obliques. If straddle headstand is something you like, this could help kind of train your legs to participate fully. Okay, when you're done with your left side, then somehow rock and roll up to sitting. And let's meet again in Asana with the right leg in front. However you want to get there will work just fine. We're going to turn this into lizard. I'm just going to pull my pants up more because dang it, they're falling down. That happened yesterday too. I don't know if it's my pants or my butt. Pants are not designed to form a butt. So lizard, if you can, come to the elbows. And remember how in your Urdhva there was potentially the knee kind of flying out to the side? Let's try to hug it in. Potentially, you need your right arm around the outside of your leg to help you hug it in. That would be fine. Take another breath or so. Okay, we'll rise up to palms. We'll bring our back leg forward through so that we can have a seat for Urdhva seat. Right heel close to sitting bone. Wrap around. And remember all that work we did before, keeping the foot solid when we were playing with lifting the straight leg up? Think of that here. Dig your right foot into the floor. Push your leg into your arm. And if you want the full bind, your left thumb is going to dip down toward the floor and then around your shin bone. So the elbow bends in front of your shin. Yes. Good. And then the hard part, chest up. Right shoulder back and look back over that right shoulder. Good. And let's unravel ourselves. And let's step back with that right foot digging into the floor. We just step back with that left foot. We're going to go for bird of paradise, potentially. So we'll lower the back heel in order to bind underneath the right leg. And then we'll step our back foot forward, but not right up next to the right foot. Nice distance between the feet so that you don't knock your shoulder out. And then we come to stand on the left leg. Once you feel like you're standing and you're balanced, you can try to extend that right leg up and out. You could look over the left shoulder if you want. Balance is a little trickier at that point. And we'll bring ourselves down. We'll try to keep the balance as we step all the way back into that lunge. And once your left foot is back there, then untwist yourself. Good. And let's just vinyasa out of that, because that was quite a bit. Okay, lizard left leg. Step the left foot forward. Hands to the inside of the foot. And if you can, elbows down. Which would mean your hands are in front of you considerably, because the elbows are going to be under your shoulders. Try to be equal weight in your right and left forearms. Hug that left knee in. Take another breath. Okay. And we'll come onto the palms. We'll slide that right leg through. So you're keeping your knee real close to your chest as you extend that leg through. And we find our mayurasana seat. So the logistics of it cannot be with your heel forward a lot. It has to be right up against your sitting bone, because your arm is just not long enough to bind if the foot is forward. So hold your knee to your right shoulder. When you're ready, hook your arm. Belly in so that you can get your armpit real close to your thigh. And the shoulder rolls forward, thumb down. And basically the thumb leads the party around. There might be some knuckle on the right leg action. You might have to push your knuckles into your leg a little bit and kind of backward crawl yourself into the bind. And when you're as bound as you want to be, push your left knee into your arm. Push your left hip forward and look back a little more. Okay, let's slowly unwind ourselves. Oh Lordy, and we'll step back for our lunge. Set up for the bind, so we can lower the back heel, it's more stable. Get that left shoulder inside of the left knee. Get whatever bind you can. And when you're ready, back foot forward so that all 10 toes face front. And we lift the left heel, eventually the left toes, and we power up that right leg so that we can stand. The more we push into that right foot, the easier it's going to be to stand. Which is the same concept as your Ekapada Bakasana, pushing your shin into your arm to get your butt up. We call that root to rise. Let's make our way to the lunge again. Keep your bind if you can. And once your right foot is back, then unbind, and vinyasa will meet in down dog. Okay. Let's step the right foot forward, lower the left knee down, and just bring the hands up to that side. Feel free to stay here, or we're going to turn it into Bakasana arm. So the left arm will sneak behind, knuckles by shoulder blades. The right arm will go up with the palm facing back and bend the elbow. You may or may not find your fingers. You could always use a strap. We'll try to press the head back, the hips forward and down. Let's unravel this and turn it into pigeon, right leg in. go for a downward facing pigeon for a few breaths so that you can settle into the hip stretch. We'll rise up, we'll swing the left leg around, and we'll bring our right leg into half lotus. So we lift the heel toward the belly button, and notice how my knee is way out to the side. When I start to bring the foot to the hip crease, I pull the knee in, so that we end up with the knees kind of close. And if half lotus is not your jam, do something else. We'll reach out for that left foot. Right arm behind the back, grab hold of the toes, inhale, and fold, exhale. Good. So there's like a little Barbie foot going on. It's probably been a minute since you've seen a Barbie foot. But it's like permanently in a high heel. It looks like a point, but then her toes are pulled back. So that's what's going on here with the right foot. Okay, let's rise up. If you're in half lotus, turn it into full lotus. If you're not in half lotus, just cross your legs. We're just going to bring our fingertips down, sort of under the thighs or under the knees. And we'll just practice lifting our knees and lowering them down again. Not a must. Not such a big deal. Not great. It's not so bad. We've done worse. The next time your knees are up, let's try to balance on our butt and hug our knees to us. Possibly interlacing the fingers. Depends how long your arms are. And depends if you're getting your elbows to your knees. Let's lean forward just one more inch. Chest toward legs. Good, then stay where you are as best you can, just reach forward. Hello, hip flexors, nice to see you. Oh Lord, one more breath, we can do this. Okay, let that go. Hi. Undo the legs. And let's meet in our Anjaneyasana, left leg in front. And you have time to vinyasa if you would like. We find our Bakasana arms. Doesn't matter if you do the bottom arm or the top arm first. You can also keep holding your top elbow with your right hand. On this side, it's going to be right elbow down, left elbow up. You could also start with a strap and just try walking your bottom hand up the strap, and eventually they meet. Good. And let's slowly release. We're going to turn this into pigeon. Left leg walks across. Okay, and we'll start to rise up. So really that pigeon is your prep for half lotus, that and everything else you've done for the past hour. But you could also, instead of doing that, you could do a baby cradle. But when you're ready, half lotus is there. You can fold and then wrap, or you can wrap and then fold. It's an inhale for like that preparation, and then exhale, the actual folding into the pose. This is Urdhva Kukkutasana. So just like earlier, there was a pose with a really long name that ended in Paschimottanasana. That addresses this straight right leg. That is a flexed foot, a kneecap rising up. It's like a pillar. And from that, everything else can move. Okay, let's rise up, either lotus or cross-legged. This time we'll attempt Utpluthih. So we'll bring our palms under the thighs instead of fingertips, it's palms. We'll lean forward and we'll lift our butt off the ground. And we'll just lift knees, lower knees, lift knees, lower knees. And just try that a few times, just lifting and lowering so that you get your abs to work. I just keep looking to the right because that's where my screen is. Okay, let's lower it down. So you could unravel your legs and then jump back, or you could keep your lotus as you rock forward onto the knees. Bring your hands down, bend your elbows in toward your ribs, lift your knees, unravel in the air. It's just another way to get into chaturanga. All paths are going to lead you to downward dog. Okay. Let us come to our Bakasana Sirsasana A. I'm going to tuck my shirt in and hope that it stays. So we're going to do Bakasana A with our lotus legs or cross legs if you don't do lotus. And we're going to just lift and lower the legs. So once you come up, the right leg will go to the left, or right foot rather, to the left thigh. Bring that foot all the way to the hip crease. Get that right knee up, the left foot in. And then you can practice bringing the knees in and lifting them up. And it's really hard. It's a lot of ab work. It's a lot of rounding the back. The lotus is just from the hips. So once you get lotus, that's not even going to be the hard part. Let's take another 1 or 2 lifts and lowers. I want to watch. Good. All right, let's come on down. Take a little rest for a moment. Either child's pose or kneeling. Okay. So we're going to work on lifting up to Bakasana from headstand, which I don't know if I'm going to do because my shoulder's weird. But the hardest part about that, I think, is really core and getting the knees high enough on the arms. So you'll notice when you're in tripod, if you bring your knees into your chest and then onto your arms, they sort of land in a not ideal place for your Bakasana. So you have to walk them in more. So let's practice that aspect of walking them in. And then we're going to lift the legs up again and try to bring them in to the place that we walked them in. So we're not going to need quite as much walking. So we'll keep trying to get our knees closer and closer to the armpits. That's a lot of rounding the back. If that is easy for you, by all means, practice the lift up to Bakasana. If you get too excited to lift to Bakasana and your knees are too close to your elbows, it's not going to work. So you got to get your knees high on the arm first. Good. And Carrie, keep your elbows in. Yeah. Good. All right. So let us try going into Bakasana, because that was pretty good. So the new issue will be, once you get there and you settle that problem, the issue is how do you lift your head without falling onto your feet? So part of it is you have to look forward. Part of it is you have to think of getting your arms straight. Because if you're here in a tripod, If you can straighten your arms, see how my shoulders are forward. That's going to help a lot. If I don't straighten my arms, I'm going to end up with my elbows behind the wrists. It's a little scary. That's why none of us really like to do it. But I may or may not be able to show you. I'm sure you've seen this before, so maybe just practice it. You'll bring your knees in as high up as you can. You'll lean a little bit toward your forehead and then practice looking forward to get the arms straight. So I sort of had to cheat that because of my shoulder, but I mean, I would probably cheat it anyway. One of the other keys is squeeze your knees into your arms. So if you're putting your knees in your armpits, which probably not any of us are going to do exactly, if you're putting your shoulders kind of inside your knees, squeeze in. So give it a try. It's going to be a lot of fingertip. Your fingertips will catch you. Good. Once your knees are where you want, push your feet together. Good. Feet together, knees squeeze in. Now look forward, butt up, heels up, straight arms. Yes. Good. All right. So let's come on down to our butts again for a sec. We will go upside down again in a moment. Let's just find double pigeon, right leg on top, chest to shin bone. This is just prepping you for Lotus now or eventually. Let's change legs. So if your lifting up to Bakasana went reasonably well, you're going to try the same thing just with your legs in Lotus. It's literally otherwise the same thing. And remember when we were in our interlaced finger headstand earlier and we were lifting and lowering the knees, the hard part was not the Lotus. The hard part was the lowering and the lifting and all that other nonsense. So same thing in your Bakasana or in your Urdhva Kukkutasana. So let's come around and set up the tripod. If you can whip your legs into Lotus, the problem is not going to be Lotus. It's going to be the exact same issues you had lifting into Bakasana. It looks like y'all are waiting for a demo. That sucks because then I have to do it. Okay, so we come up, we find Lotus. Ideally, it's pretty quick to find Lotus because then you don't have to waste a lot of energy. We bring our knees in, and now it's the same. Knees have to go in a lot. Head has to rock a little bit, and gaze forward. And I didn't hold it. I wasn't far enough forward. But that same idea of chest forward, arms straight. Yeah, do what I do, not what or do what I say, not what I do. And part of that, the reason I fell out of it was fear about my shoulder. It wasn't actually pain, and my shoulder's fine. It doesn't hurt right now. I was just scared that it was gonna hurt. So we get like so in our heads about this stuff. And if you can't quite do Lotus, probably work on the Bakasana entrance because a half Lotus from here won't really be a strong enough arm balance. Good, so now Lisa, remember the rounded back scenario. And as soon as you can, straighten your arms and reach your chest toward that wall. Dang, girl, yes. Good. All right, so let us come down onto our butts again. If you're about to have a breakthrough moment, ignore me, do your thing. We'll bring our legs out wide. We'll get our calf muscles to press down so that it feels like our legs are stuck. And let's just twist to face the right leg. And untwist and go over to the left foot. And I'm just using my fingers to kind of help me deepen the twist. Head over to the right leg again. And head over to the left leg again. Okay, we'll come through center. We'll place our hands by our inner thighs. We'll lean forward, and notice this is similar to when you have to go to your Bakasana, this whole shoulder in front of wrist thing. So just practice this, getting your butt off the ground and leaning forward. I'll face this way in case the angle is better. So we have to bring our shoulders considerably forward to compensate for our butt, to like balance out our butt. So the next time that your butt is off the ground, walk your hands forward and find your Prasarita Padottanasana A, hands flat, or go for Baddhasta C. We're about to lift our legs up. You could interlace your fingers. That would be C, or you could, that would be A, or you can have your palms flat. That would be C. So any headstand that you want, you're going to go up through this straddle leg. So first, in your Prasarita, your feet are very firm on the ground. Then you got to lift your heels. Then you got to come to your tippy toes. And then somehow you got to get your legs off the ground and squeeze your thighs together until eventually the legs touch. Good. Carol, you're a little bit in a pike. Yes. There you go. Good. Let's start to separate the legs. We'll be in that split again. Try to come down as slowly as you got up. So first just tippy toes on the floor, then balls of the feet, then soles of the feet. Good. Take a rest somehow. So you can just bring your feet together again and rest, or you can go down to your butt and rest. All right. We're just going to do one more inversion. We'll go for Pincha mayurasana, and we'll try to descend through the straddle that you just played with. Getting up through a straddle in Pincha is crazy, but getting down, gravity is going to help you. So just make sure that you have space in terms of your house, and just do your best. And if you don't want to do Pincha, just do your headstand again. Going to be a little more stanyu than Pincha. So instead of looking by your fingertips, look by your elbows. Okay. I've seen better. Let's come onto our backs for a sec, and then we're going to repeat that. Good. All right. So from your back, this is just to get into the shoulders a little bit more. For your Pincha, we're just going to find Viparita Dandasana. So we'll lift the hips, we'll come to the top of the head, we'll walk the fingers back. And I'm going to come onto the balls of my feet in order to get more movement so that I can get my fingers down. And then I'll push with the legs to get the chest further over so the elbows come down. And I know it feels like maybe you haven't done a lot of back bends today, but you've done a lot of shoulder and you've done a lot of thigh stretches, which is really the elements of back bend. Take a few more breaths. Nice, Gary. Good. And then somehow come out of there, and we'll just try one more time. The Pincha mayurasana with the straddle descent, or if you almost had a breakthrough with your Bakasana or your Urdhva Kukkutasana, something else, do that something else. And if you're in the Pincha, remember it's going to be more Sthanuasana, a little more straight up and down. So not such a big back bend. Press your armpits forward, like through your chest. Good. Lisa, look toward your elbows more. Yes. Belly in. Strong legs. Good. I am satisfied. All right, let's meet in down dog B. We're just going to take a few breaths there to calm it all down. Let's straighten the arms, normal down dog. Walk the hands back toward the feet. Bend the knees so your chest rests on your thighs. And either stay there and dangle or reach around your legs and hold opposite shins. Right hand to left shin, left hand to right shin. We'll keep our chest on our thigh, belly in, head drops. And start to straighten the legs inch by inch. This is like a really deep way to practice a Paschimottanasana. Because keeping your chest on your thigh, keeping your belly in, that's a lot of work, but you can really feel it here. Okay, let's get out of there. Come on down and somehow make your way to your back for Shavasana or for something else that you need to do in lieu of or before. Take another minute here. Wiggle fingers and toes. One or both knees in. Roll to the side. Minimal effort to sit up. Minimal effort to fold forward. Many different things you can do with your hands. Just take a full breath to seal in the practice. Namaste.